BookTV recently visited Capitol Hill to ask members of Congress what they're reading this summer.
I've got a couple of books that I'm reading right now. One is The American Spirit by David McCullough. It's a compilation of speeches that he's given, and McCullough is one of my favorite authors. He wrote a biography of John Adams. He's written a number of biographies, but he also wrote a book, 1776, that I read a while back. It's about that pivotal year in the founding of America, but it's really about George Washington, who is my favorite president. The other book is Restoring Quality Healthcare by Scott Atlas, and I come from a think tank background. That's what I did for 25 years before I ran for Congress, so I'm kind of a nerd, I guess, and I've been in meetings with Scott and impressed with his ideas on what we need to do to have a quality healthcare system, and I think I would add an affordable healthcare system. A couple of other books that I've read this summer. One back in the spring is The Little Things by Andy Andrews. It's a really good little book. I've read, I think, practically everything that Andy's written. He's an excellent author. And my wife's reading one of his books right now, The Traveler's Gift. And then I also just finished a book called The Power of a Humble Life, and really convicting, by a guy named Richard Simmons, who's actually a resident in Birmingham, but an outstanding book. And then on my list for the rest of the summer is a book by Eric Metaxas called If You Can Keep It, and then one that I've by Gordon Wood, Friends Divided, and I'm looking forward to reading that because it's about Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, and I think most people understand the importance of those two gentlemen to the founding of the Republic. Obviously, Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. Adams was our second president, but I'm not sure they know the backstory, and that's really what I think this book's about. Adams and Jefferson were great friends. Adams had a tremendous opinion of Jefferson's intellect and his writing ability, and it was Adams that insisted that Jefferson, as part of a committee, Jefferson be the one who actually wrote the draft of the Declaration. And later in life, they became estranged. Jefferson ran for presidency and beat Adams. Adams was not able to serve a second term. And that caused enmity between the two. And over the years, after Jefferson left office, their friends began to encourage them to be reconciled, and they began by writing letters. Some fascinating, insightful letters, and they were reconciled. And I like to take people on private tours of the Capitol at night, and I'll take them to the Rotunda, and I show them that Jonathan Trumbull painting of the signing of the Declaration. And Trumbull was a contemporary of Adams and Jefferson, and he knew the dynamics of the relationship. And I don't know how many people have noticed this, but in the painting, he painted Jefferson standing on Adams' left foot, which I think was his way of capturing that division that existed for a while. But the good news is they were reconciled, and Adams died on July 4th, 1826, 50 years to the day. And it's reported that his last words, if not his last words, close to his last words, were, "Thank God Jefferson lives," and Jefferson died 4 hours later. So I think it's really interesting the path that these two gentlemen took, and how they came back together toward the end of their lives, and that they died on the same day. So I look forward to reading that, getting a little bit more of the backstory.
BookTV wants to know what you're reading. Send us your summer reading list at BookTV on Twitter, Instagram, or on Facebook. BookTV on C-SPAN 2, television for serious readers.